Excuse me. Hey everyone, the Super Vader 400 here, back for another review. This time, this is my review of both of the Avengers films, the 2012 Avengers film and the sequel, Avengers Age of Ultron. This is also my thoughts on the upcoming Avengers Infinity War film coming in 2018. This is my short thoughts on that film because no footage of that film has been released yet, but there has been lots of news circulating on what's gonna happen in both of those films. So I'm gonna give my thoughts on that and let's start off with the very first Avengers. Back in 2012, when this film came out, back in 2012, when this film came out, this film right here, and it still is today. This film, not only was it one of the best superhero movies, not only was it the best superhero movie of that year, this film, in my opinion, is one of the greatest superhero films of all time. Coming into this film, I never really cared much for the Avengers. Well, at least the original Avengers team, which consists of all of these characters right here in Ant-Man in the comic books. But I was a huge fan of the Avengers United They Stand cartoon which I'd always wanted to watch when I was a child. I remember seeing pictures of it. I remember seeing pictures of it in the toy line. I finally got to see it in 2009 and finally rewatched the series in 2013. And that's my favorite Avengers team. I like all of the Avengers, but my favorite Avengers would probably have to be Falcon, Hawkeye, and Vision would probably have to be my favorites. Pretty much everyone seen it, I think, in what is known as the West Coast Avengers team. That's the Avengers team. Hawkeye leads. So yeah, I never really cared much for the original Avengers, but I was a huge fan of all of the characters: Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Fury, the Incredible Hulk, Black Widow, and Hawkeye individually. When I saw this film, I immediately became a fan of the Avengers, and now I'm like this super fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I love how all of these characters were all introduced in their own films, were all introduced in their own movies, and all of those movies and all of those events and all of those movies and events culminated into one giant superhero smackdown, and that was the Avengers, one of the very first films of its nature that's pretty much like this. We had never seen superheroes from different comics in one film. Then I like how this movie right here, while changing a lot of things, this film was extremely close to the comic books. They even remember Hawkeye on the bottom of the screen, right here, Hawkeye. They even remembered it. They even remembered that he was a bad guy. He was a bad guy, except it was different. In the comic books, he was introduced in Iron Man's story. They couldn't do that in this universe, so they had him get controlled by Loki. And I like how, like I said, this film had everything. This film had cool, exciting comic book hand-to-hand combat battles, spaceship and airplane battles, They were some awesome bad guys. They weren't much of a threat. But they were awesome bad guys, and I love the huge epic fight at the end. The rematch between Loki and Thor. The um the first fight between Captain America and and then of course Loki um um Black Widow, inside the ship threatening to shoot Loki, and then of course Iron Man coming to Captain America's aid after coming to Captain America's aid, and then right there imprisoning Loki's brilliant plan of using the Avengers' own animosity and stuff towards each other, then of course killing Carlson, I think that's his name. Coulson, I think that's his name. killing him, and killing him, and pretty much bringing the Avengers together, and Coulson shooting Loki with that awesome bazooka. So like I said, just awesome. The fight between Iron Man and Thor, and the brief exchange between Thor and Captain America, where Thor launched in the air and Captain America blocked with his shield. Like I said, this was just an awesome film. Probably one of the best superhero films of our time, and this film broke the one. This film made $1.5 billion at the box office, man. Yeah. Then of course you had the sequel. I don't own the sequel on DVD. Avengers: Age of Ultron. Avengers: Age of Ultron, which right here, just like the first Avengers. Now this film, I didn't think this film was gonna be good, but I wanted to see another Avengers movie. I was ready and pumped for another Avengers movie and the next installment in what will be the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I didn't think this film would be good because after seeing villains like Ronan the Accuser and Korath, those were the two main antagonists of the Guardians of the Galaxy film. Thanos and superheroes like the Incredible Hulk and Thor. I didn't see how a robot, especially a robot made on Earth, would be a threat to the Avengers. Now, a robot created by Stark would be a threat to the Avengers. I can see how it would be a threat to Tony Stark himself, Captain America, Black Widow, and Hawkeye, and Falcon. But I didn't see how it would be a threat to characters like Thor and Thor, Loki, who was supposed to appear in the film, but they dropped him from the film, and of course the Incredible Hulk. Now, if it was an alien bot like the Transformers, it would be more believable. But since it's a robot made on Earth, I didn't see how it would be a threat to them. But and I didn't see and after seeing villains like Ronan and Thanos, I didn't see how a robot would be good. A robot would be a good villain, but Spader, he gave new life to that Ultron. He gave some life to what I saw was just a bland giant robot for the Avengers to fight character. Um, he gave life to that character. He gave life to that character. Not like and like I said, it was just an awesome film. It was just an awesome movie, man. It was an awesome movie. It was bigger and badder than the first one. I love how they introduced mutants, Quicksilver, and and um and Scarlet Witch to the series, and despite not being able to make any references to them being mutants and being part of the Brotherhood and being Magneto's children, they were extremely close to their comic book counterparts. Come to think of it, the Quicksilver who appeared in this universe, in this Marvel Cinematic Universe, was more accurate than the one in the X-Men Cinematic universe by 20th Century Fox. 20th Century Fox, and like I said, just an awesome film, just an awesome film. Then the shocker at the end, killing off Quicksilver, which which saddens and angers me, but also makes me proud. It shows how gutsy Marvel can be. Everyone criticizes Marvel for always playing it safe, but look right there. Then look at Captain America Civil War, which I'm going to talk about in another video, which I've already talked about on this channel, but I'm going to talk about again. So, yeah, then of course also introducing the human form of Yasila's Claws, the Fantastic Four and Black Panther villain, introducing us to his human form. Loki, he had some scenes they were cut out. I also remember Abomination from the first Hulk movie, from the Incredible Hulk film, was supposed to appear in this film, but they cut out his scenes too. Then of course so yeah, both of these were awesome films. These were short reviews of both of these movies. I'm gonna do longer, more in-depth reviews much later. But right now, this was my short review of both of those. Now to give my thoughts on the Avengers Infinity War. And Avengers Infinity War, I can't wait. Instead of Age of Ultron, this was the movie I want to see. I want to see Thanos as the main antagonist. I'm also happy to hear that Marvel is splitting up the Avengers films. At first, I thought at first it was at first everyone thought that it was expected that both of the Avengers films, with Avengers Infinity War, would be both part one and two. Sorry about that, kind of sinus problems. Avengers Avengers Infinity War will be both part one and two. But it was recently announced that only part one will be Infinity War, and the second one will be just a different Avengers film altogether. And I like that. I didn't see what storyline they could come up with for two different films from these two different films unless you had Thanos in the first film Thanos in the first film and had him win and take over the world. And in the second film, the Avengers find a way, the surviving Avengers find a way to defeat him and ending pretty much the first it common ending pretty much phase one, two, and three of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and starting something new, or have someone like what DC is doing, have a henchman of Thanos come down. The Avengers beat him, beat that person, beat that character. Then the Avengers fight Thanos in the second film. Then the Avengers fight Thanos in the second film, and that culminates Marvel's phase one, two, and three. But no, it's the Avengers Infinity War is only going to be in part one, with the sequel being part two. And see, I'm already ready for. I'm wondering what's gonna happen to each character. Because, like I said, this is the culmination of Phase 1, 2, and 3 of Marvel, and the start of something new. Also, keep in mind a lot of characters' contracts. Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, Iron Man and Captain America, respectively. Their contracts end at Infinity Wars. Also, finally, it was announced that Chris Pratt, Peter Quill's Star Lord, will be appearing in Avengers Infinity War, and so will Loki, and so will the other Guardians. This is what I wanted: the Avengers and the Guardians fighting side by side. See, at first I was mad. I was mad that the Avengers. First off, I was mad that they teased the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers crossing over. But then a friend of mine told me that wasn't possible. Then I realized because of contracts, yeah, that would be possible. But at first I was mad because they teased us for that. Then I was mad because they pretty much set it up. They build it up. They build up a confrontation between Drax and of course Thanos in the Guardians of the Galaxy film. But you don't have them cross over. You don't have them appear in Avengers Infinity War. So I'm finally happy that the Guardians and the Avengers, all those characters in one superhero SmackDown, will be in that movie, man. Will be in that movie. So yeah, Avengers Infinity War is looking good, and I wonder what the sequel is gonna be. After Infinity War, who's gonna be left? What characters are gonna be left? Cause you know, in Infinity War when Thanos gets here, people will die. People are dying. There will definitely be changes, man. There will definitely be changes. So I wonder after the first Avengers film, who will be left? Like I said, this is all Wikipedia only has who will be appearing in the film. There isn't much footage. There isn't no footage yet or no trailers yet. So yeah, I'm gonna have to wait to 2018 to give my thoughts on a trailer or something. But this was my first thoughts on Avengers Infinity War. I already can't wait. I already can't wait. And Doctor Strange and Thor Ragnarok are supposed to lead more up into Avengers Infinity War. All right, I'm done.